Welcome. This is Jordan with Foodbevy, the online community for food and beverage founders. And today I'm talking with Perteet, co-founder of Ayo Foods, which just launched. So would love for you to tell me a little bit about yourself and the company and why now it was the right time to launch a business.
Jordan, thank you so much for having me. I love what you're doing with Foodbevy, really giving a platform for emerging brands, which is more important now than ever. Um, Ayo was really co-founded with my husband, Fred, really out of a mutual desire for us to work together in a more professional context. That was something that we always wanted to do at some point in our careers. I had come from a pretty strong CPG background. Fred had a long history of finance and entrepreneurship. And so this food space just felt like home to us. And it's funny, Ayo means joy in Yoruba. And so it's really fitting that that's the name of the brand, as this has been truly a labor of love for us. As it brings out kind of the two things that are incredibly important to us, which are family and food. My family's from Liberia. And when we get together, it's always centered around an incredible meal. Most often, cassava leaf is involved, whether that's my mom making it or me making it or my Aunt Margaret shipping it from somewhere in the country. We've always had it. And over the past few years, we've seen just a lot of interesting growth happening in the frozen space, particularly as it relates to kind of premium ethnic offerings. But as you look at that landscape, and frankly, beyond frozen, just across the store, Africa is notably absent. So we saw this as a tremendous opportunity to bring a bit of ourselves to the store. And so we're so thrilled that we're off to this strong start.
That's amazing. So talk a little bit about the challenges of launching kind of during COVID and what that's been like in terms of, talking with retailers and reaching consumers. Because I know frozen is always a hard category to like sample and have product discovery in, but then let alone when, there's absolutely no demos going on, how do you help to build that awareness during this time?
Yeah, so you highlighted our challenge. We never ever, no one could have anticipated that we'd be launching a product in the midst of a pandemic. But so I think it just forced us to be incredibly thoughtful about like how we enter the conversation, given we didn't have the ability to be in stores every day, handing out samples. And we know for a lot of folks, they haven't tried this type of food before. And so, we've been just incredibly grateful. I think we built a bit of a kind of syndicate around us of incredible brand and PR and really in-store partners who have done a nice job so far, really helping us break through in spite of what's a challenging climate. I can't wait to get out there and kind of be Mabel at the table and kind of share our joy, as we call it. But for now, we're just doing the best we can, really disrupting on social and in store to the extent we can to bring visibility to the brand.
Being kind of one of the first, if not only, African inspired food kind of in the frozen section, like what have you heard from your consumers so far in terms of how they're liking it or how they're approaching it?
Yeah, I think people are really excited. One of the interesting things about COVID is it kind of introduce kind of the center of the store to people. And so I think people are coming to the aisle with really a fresh set of eyes, looking for something different, and looking to explore and travel in an environment where that's really challenging. And, one easy thing that Ayo can do to contribute to that is really, at least if you can't hop on a plane or or go somewhere else, go on a long drive, at least you can kind of explore the world through your taste buds. And so I think people are really, really excited to try the food. Both folks who are familiar with West African cuisine and those who may not have grown up with it, really excited for kind of this moment in grocery.
And then what has it been like, launching your own brand? I know you have background working at General Mills and kind of working in the food space for a long time. What's been the difference from going from more of a corporate environment to actually being on the ground and doing all of the work, yourself with you and your husband?
Yeah, so I'm so grateful for my General Mills experience. I think it really helped me think through kind of how to build a strategy for the brand and what are all of the inputs to think about. Being on the ground floor of an emerging brand is really different. And so, especially when we have an incredibly lean team, which is Fred and I today. Of course, we've got some partners in place as well, but we have to be a lot scrappier and I think move a lot more quickly. I got a nice preview into that through, my work at Spins and the partnerships that I built with many emerging brands there. But it's, different being at the plant at 4:00 in the morning and making sure that everything's ticked and tied. Because at the end of the day, if the brand doesn't take off, if it's not successful, it's on us. And so, it's been a really, really incredible learning experience. I'm grateful for all of the experiences I had to date as they helped me understand kind of the right questions to ask and where I need to dig deeper. And then I'm, learning as we go, which has been really, really fun.
What asks do you have for the larger kind of food and beverage community, and how can we help you with your business at this stage?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that. We're incredibly excited that we got on shelf in, about 50 Whole Food stores right now, a couple of retailers locally here in Chicago. But now I say the heavy lifting begins, which is actually like making sure that people pull it off the shelf. And so I think the big ask would be, if you're in Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, or Chicago, please give us a try. If you're not in any of those markets, be sure to follow us on social media. We hope to be coming soon to one of those. I think that would be the big thing. The other piece is, of course, we believe in the strength of this brand and we see its potential not only frozen, but well beyond that. And so always looking for kind of progressive retail partners to kind of take a leap with us and bet on us. And so that would be the other ask.
Excellent. And I know you're kind of early in this journey, but if you could give one piece of advice to another founder entrepreneur, what would you tell them?
I'd say don't give up. If you believe in your brand, I think you just have to chip away at it and find ways to disrupt and break through. I think when you make a commitment to launch a brand, there's typically lots of inner monologues that happen before you get to the point where you actually launch. And there are certainly days that are better than others, particularly in these times where there's so much uncertainty. But if you believe in your idea, I'm a firm believer that even in really, really challenging times, great innovation is born out of that. And so if you believe in your brand and your proposition, I'd say keep at it, find new ways to disrupt, and just don't give up.
Sage advice. I love that. Perteet Spencer, co-founder of Ayo Foods. Thanks so much for being on.
Thanks, Jordan.